What do you love about this song?
Night nurse.
Imagine having a voice that could captivate the world, a presence that could command any stage, and a career that was destined for greatness. But what happens when the very thing that propels you to the top also threatens to bring it all crashing down? This is the story of Gregory Isaacs, the cool ruler of reggae, whose battle with addiction turned his life into a cautionary tale. Stay tuned as we dive into the extraordinary highs and heartbreaking lows of one of Jamaica's most iconic artists. From the outset, Gregory Isaacs was gifted with a voice that was nothing short of extraordinary. He dressed impeccably, often likened to a Rasta James Bond, always donning the finest suits, complete with his signature fedora. His presence was magnetic, exuding a regal charm, commanding the stage with unmatched charisma and confidence. Gregory's professionalism in the music industry was something many artists, across all genres, could only aspire to. Isaacs was a remarkably versatile reggae artist. While he is often celebrated as one of the greatest exponents of lovers rock, he was equally adept at delivering powerful songs with profound social and spiritual messages. By the early 1980s, Gregory Isaacs had firmly established himself as an international superstar. However, beneath the surface, the man known as the Cool Ruler was battling a significant challenge, an addiction to crack cocaine. This addiction would ultimately derail his illustrious career, take a toll on his health, and contribute to his untimely death at the age of 59. In a 2017 interview, reggae legend Don Carlos recounted a story from the early 1970s when he encountered Gregory smoking a joint. Isaacs, however, warned Don Carlos against drugs, advising him never to indulge. This warning became tragically ironic as Gregory's struggle with cocaine addiction unfolded just a decade later. The exact moment Gregory Isaacs became entangled with cocaine remains unclear, but those closest to him suggest that it coincided with his first international record deal in 1978 with Virgin Records subsidiary. It was around this time that his close friend, Dennis Brown, also began using cocaine during a U.S. tour. Gregory's journey to stardom began in the early 1970s when, after a series of unsuccessful recordings, he teamed up with singer Errol Dunkley to form the African Museum Records label in 1973. The partnership produced a prolific output of hits that solidified Gregory's status as a major star in Jamaica. His first taste of international success came in 1977 when Dennis Brown invited him to sign with his London-based DEB Records, resulting in the acclaimed Mr. Isaacs album, which introduced Gregory to UK audiences and laid the foundation for the UK's enduring love for lovers rock. His success in the UK did not go unnoticed, and in 1978, Richard Branson's Frontline Records signed him, leading to the release of the Cool Ruler album, followed by the brilliant Soon Forward in 1979. These albums propelled him to international fame, and his allure was undeniable. With a voice that captivated and a stage presence that mesmerized, Gregory Isaacs became a must-see artist, drawing massive crowds wherever he performed. As Gregory's star continued to rise, so did his involvement in Jamaica's elite circles, where cocaine was a common indulgence. He began using it more frequently as he navigated the pressures of fame. However, those outside his inner circle remained unaware of his growing addiction. Dr. Dredd, CEO of RAS Records and a close friend of Isaacs, revealed that Gregory once confided in him that his drug use was, in part, a coping mechanism to handle the intense pressures of fame, particularly the constant attention from women. Despite his struggles, Gregory continued to manage multiple roles as a singer, songwriter, businessman, and soon-to-be husband. In 1981, Gregory met a beautiful 21-year-old student named June Wyndham at Randy's record store in Kingston. They fell in love quickly and married in 1982, just as Gregory signed with Island Records. June Isaacs later shared in an interview that Gregory was the ideal partner, loving, attentive, and protective. Yet, unbeknownst to her, he was already a regular cocaine user. Over time, his behavior began to change. He distanced himself from old friends and grew closer to people she didn't trust, signaling the deepening of his addiction. Gregory Isaacs began to spend less and less time at home, often disappearing for days on end. The inevitable happened when his wife, June, discovered his drug use, leaving her heartbroken. Shortly after recording the tracks that would become the iconic Night Nurse album, Gregory's lifestyle caught up with him. The Jamaican police, having caught wind of his activities, raided his home and found cocaine along with illegal firearms. This led to his arrest and subsequent imprisonment. Ironically, while he was behind bars, the Night Nurse album became a global sensation. Upon his release after a few months, Gregory dove right back into his work, continuing to record, write, and tour the world, much to the delight of his fans. However, his crack addiction was intensifying, creating distance between him and the people who cared about him. Meanwhile, his friend Dennis Brown was also battling drug issues. Following Night Nurse, the quality of Gregory's music began to decline as his addiction took a toll, and his life slowly started to unravel. But by 1988, Gregory was determined to fight back against his addiction. With the support of his wife, he sought treatment and made attempts to enter rehab. That same year, in a courageous move, he openly discussed his drug problem in an interview published in the Jamaican Gleaner on July 31, 1988. This act of honesty was a testament to his greatness and fighting spirit, despite the potential risks to his career. Gregory candidly shared how drugs had damaged his relationships and compromised his Rastafarian beliefs. He also issued a warning to future celebrities, revealing that he had once condemned cocaine use before he could afford it. It seemed like Gregory had turned a corner in his battle, even releasing a song titled Hard Drugs to warn others about the dangers he had experienced. Unfortunately, the addiction proved too powerful, and Gregory fell back into its grip, becoming fully consumed by his habit. Although he continued to balance his drug use with work for a time, his increasing unreliability began to frustrate concert promoters, leading to missed flights and canceled shows both abroad and in Jamaica. To fund his growing addiction, Gregory started recording music at an astonishing pace, but the surge in quantity led to a noticeable decline in quality, much to the disappointment of his fans. It is estimated that he recorded an incredible 500 albums throughout his career. He also faced numerous close calls, often finding himself on the run from promoters after accepting payments for shows he never attended. By the 1990s, Gregory's health had deteriorated to the point where his dreadlocks began to fall out and his body grew progressively weaker. He shocked his fans by shaving his head and adopting a low-cut hairstyle. Tragically, in 1999, his lifelong friend Dennis Brown passed away from respiratory issues exacerbated by long-term drug use. The loss deeply affected Gregory, but it wasn't enough to help him break free from his addiction. By the 2000s, the drugs had stripped away the sweet quality of his voice, and he struggled to perform at live shows as he once did. To make matters worse, most of his teeth fell out in 2007, and he could barely keep himself together. Yet, despite everything, Gregory still had a devoted fan base who continued to support him, buying tickets to his shows even though he was a shadow of his former self. In 2008, doctors discovered a tumor in his lung during its early stages. However, due to Gregory's mental and physical state, he neglected the condition until it had spread throughout his body. This ultimately led to his passing on October 25, 2010, in London. Gregory Isaacs, one of the most charismatic and talented figures to ever emerge from Jamaica, left behind a legacy that reads like a tragic cautionary tale about the perils of drug abuse. Despite his faults, Gregory exhibited a rare bravery and honesty, openly confronting his struggles with addiction, something few artists of his stature would do. Those who knew him best described him as a genuinely good man who, despite facing monumental challenges and personal demons, always strived to be a loyal friend, a gentleman, and a dedicated artist. Gregory Isaacs' life was a testament to both the power of talent and the destructive force of addiction. While his voice and music continue to inspire, his story serves as a reminder of the importance of confronting our inner demons. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the life of the Cool Ruler, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories of music legends who left an indelible mark on the world. Until next time, keep the music alive.